most of the history divided and under other countries and other nations' occupation. So when they have united, then most of the industry, which was pretty well developed in the southern Italy, went to the north to be more closer to the new government and the new, maybe not only to the government, not only to Rome or Florence, because for some time Florence was supposed to be the capital of the United Italy, but also they wanted to be more close to Piedmont and so on. So now most of the Italian industry is, as many people know, in Torino, in Piedmonte, in the northern Italy. And so the Southerners, they think that they were robbed of their richness, of their riches, and their richness too, and by the North. So that's why the antagonism towards the North from the South. And we have also the opposite antagonism, because the South, which was impoverished and also stricken by not only by poverty but also by mafia, camorra, and in recent years ndrangheta. Ndrangheta is the type of mafia that is operating more freely, more like terrorists in a very they have just have appointments for some actions, and they don't have this hierarchical Hollywood-born structure as mafia and camorra have, and so they are also very dangerous, and not easy to, their actions are not easy to spot, the soldiers are not easy to spot, and so on. So there's so the South is the organized crime, but it's also the huge support by the impoverished South for the Communist Party. And after World War II, it was a huge problem for Italy, because communists were always the rump, which was totally useless in the Italian parliament. And the only thing that it was doing, because even the Social Democrats were not talking to them, the only thing that they were doing it was that the Italian state was free to go for the Soviet agents and so on. So it was really something very bad. So that's why the very strong anti-communist sentiment was formed in northern Italy, and it was connected very often, and is connected very often, with the laziness of the terroni, of the people which have the skin of the color of the terra, of the earth, from the south. So they are lazy, they're communists, and that's why this is a stereotype from the north about the south, and the northerners think that there's a huge problem with the south always, and that's why the strongest anti-communist sentiment in Europe was formed in Italy, so the strongest outside the Eastern Europe, of course, which has experienced many decades of communist regime, and of course there was a strong anti-communist sentiment too. But it's the strongest in the Western Europe, which had not been subjected to communist, to Bolshevism. And it's visible today in the program of Lega Nord and the other northern-centered parties, and which are now, Lega Nord is composing the part of the Italian so-called nationalistic government of today. Maybe in the age of the difficult and dangerous internationalism and the problems with Muslim minorities and the illegal immigration and so on, it's not so bad. Usually those things are complicated in a different situation. There can be drawbacks or something positive. Okay, the other thing about the other negative characteristics is that they smoke too much. That's true, they smoke more than French do, according to some, well, if the sources, if the polls are correct, that it's true. They always, it's true from my perspective, from my own perspective. I had the problems of with the piccola combinazione of the Italians, that I have lost some money because of the Italians, and this is the only foreign nation that have only made me like a sucker. Italians often don't speak foreign languages, but it's not like only 20% of them, which is one of the most the most problematic results in the Europe. But it's not really a problem.